So, my name is Kimma, and I am not quite a slabber yet, but will be. I plan to be anyway. I'm going on my second year in the slabs, and I love this place and everybody I've met in it so far. Whether they return that is not my concern, but within the last so many months, a friend of mine here, that actually one of the very first people I met here, came to me and said he had met a gentleman who was possibly, looking for a friend, buddy he could pal around with, and he knew that I was really missing my man back home. So, not in the way of romantically at all, but he introduced us to maybe hang out with each other. And this guy had come in, from what he said, he was in a retirement age and had been kind of traveling around and had been to the slabs briefly, but then had to leave and wanted to come back at a certain point, and this was that time that he had come back to. And within the first probably 2 times we hung out, he had really grabbed my attention with how negatively he spoke of people in the slabs as like a blanket statement, as mentioning the words ignorant and dirty and trashy and things like that. It just continued kind of to snowball until I had to make a decision to stop being his friend, but because I'm me, I decided to give him another shot, and he made me pancakes, and God knows I love pancakes, so but I was offended horribly by the whole blanket statement of how he saw everybody here, viewed everyone here. So that kind of led me to, it intrigued me honestly to know more about him and what would make him maybe lean towards thinking that way, or I wanted to just know, because I'm a need to know kind of person. So I continued to come around, and while I was offended, I still had just, I don't know, I liked him. He was funny, he cracked me up. In my opinion, the longer I got to hang out with him and get to know him, the less I kind of wanted to. But I'm a dedicated person with a lot of determination, so I stuck it out. And he seemed pompous and, borderline lethally arrogant, but I'm of the opinion that if you let a person talk long enough, they'll show you who they are, or tell you who they are. More often than not, inadvertently, but they will tell you. So I listened and kind of led all conversations to let him be the leader of the conversation. And formed an opinion that maybe I shouldn't have, but I did, and really just did not like him very much. And the more that he revealed about himself, the more I saw a need to bring to his attention the kind of person he was. So I think the biggest turning point in my mind was when he showed me some home videos. And this guy, he loves to edit things. He's a little almost ridiculous about it. He loves it so much, and it cracks me up. But I was watching some videos that he had done of an ex-girlfriend of his, and what I saw in it was not what he was showing me. It was what I saw on my own that bothered me so deeply. But what I saw was, instead of this genius editor, I saw a man who was preying on this lady that I did not know. He was trying to show me how aggressive she was, and when provoked, how assaultive she could be. But instead, I saw a guy who liked to control her, and did so with words, very few actions, but found buttons to push and pushed them quickly. But he reminded me a lot of a man I knew growing up who was very manipulative person. Now, having said that, Steve seemed to be a manipulator, but not in the way that like a woman would manipulate a man, in the way that like a cat would manipulate a mouse, where he seemed to use her maybe emotional defects from past trauma and substances to fuel this anger inside of her to use against her. It was very strange. The whole thing was very strange, but in the end, by the time I was done watching a lot of these videos, I had decided that this particular person needed to give some retribution, or some sort of parting prize. I don't know, however you want to see it. Little things here and there would start to disappear, I'm sure. I mean, that's how it seemed to happen anyway, and like batteries and chargers and external batteries and things like this, you know. I wanted to do something for the people that he looked so lowly on, because of the people here I know, they don't deserve it. They definitely don't need to be judged, and I felt it really inappropriate that he come to a town where he doesn't know anybody and talk shit about him immediately. So I thought that he needed to learn a lesson, and things around his place disappeared, and seems like the slab members kind of gained items here and there. Maybe not necessarily Robin Hood type situation, but sort of, and I'm proud of that. So I had no problem making sure things got to where they needed to be, you know, certain people that needed certain things, and Steve seemed to be the kind of guy that just couldn't help himself but share. So he and I did develop a friendship, and on my end it was kind of false, because I did have an end goal, and the end goal was to when he realized what was happening, I wanted him to sit back and think about why it happened, and what he could maybe have done differently, or maybe the type of person he would want to be versus the type of person he is, because I don't know about everybody, but I want to end the day a better person than when I woke up. I think if more people were like that in the world, we probably would live in a much better world. So I continued to eat his pancakes, and he continued to lose little things here and there. The more I did, the better I felt. So I wasn't going to, probably would never have stopped until he said something, but some things came to light, and I had to leave the slabs for a bit. So I ended this little Robin Hood mission I started, and then he broadcast his side of it all on the internet and through Slab City News, and I'm not one to watch or get involved much with social media, things like that, and I'm not by any means, you know, the creator or a judge of Earth or anything, but I do consider myself to be a morally decent person, and my views on things, I mean, I hope they're as fair as I feel like they are. One of my children even said recently I'm one of the fairest people he knows, and that's a big deal coming from your kid. I mean, you know, I was really pleased, very, what's the word, gracious for that kind of a compliment. But I didn't want to do this in an interactive setting where I could be talking to him again, because I don't want to have anything else to do with this man. I did, however, want to at least explain in a statement or three why he's so upset with me and what I did to get under his skin, which, by the way, does not take much. But I feel good about it, and I would do it again in a second if I thought for a minute that somebody was arrogant or maybe narcissistic, type A personality type-ish enough to come into a town and judge people before he gets to know them. So I hope that of everything that did happen and allegedly happened, that he will maybe think twice. That's all.